Child abuse and neglect is when a child is being maltreated by a caregiver or another adult or even a peer. But typically we look at it as when a child is being poorly treated, not well cared for, inappropriate supervision, inappropriate discipline. There's really 4 different buckets of child abuse and neglect, which is physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and neglect.
Well, as of December of 2019, there's a new law in North Carolina, General Statute 14318.6, which covers mandated reporting in North Carolina. So anyone that has knowledge of physical or sexual abuse of a child is mandated to report it to either law enforcement or Child Protective Services.
One of the things I also always encourage people to understand is that a child is not always going to tell you when they're being abused or neglected. And so paying attention to children, knowing kind of their personality and their behaviors, which you typically experience when you're around children. And when that personality seems to change in a repeated, ongoing way, maybe it's their affect that's different, their mood, their performance in school could drop, their appetite could change, just shifts in how a child presents to you is something that you would want to watch for from children. And then of course, sometimes children do tell you and say things that might lead you to be concerned that something is happening that's not in their best interest. And very simply put, we want to be able to talk to children in a way that's non-threatening, that's not leading, that doesn't put words in their mouth. But we want to say to children, tell me more about that. If a child were to say to me, my arm is really hurting because of what Mom did last night, I would say to that child, well, tell me more about your arm hurting, or tell me more about what your mom did last night.
Child abuse, just like with sex crimes, are very underreported. Those things that happen usually are done in private. It's sometimes embarrassing or very difficult for children to come forward because what they're looking for primarily is a support system from their family or a person of trust, and being able to give that disclosure initially to someone for us to then start an investigation.
In honor and celebration of Child Abuse Prevention Month, I just want to share that while we focus on child abuse prevention during the month of April, it is a practice and a commitment that should happen every single day of the year. And being able to reach out to a family and a child and support them and to help them and to believe that a family has strengths and have capabilities is so very important. And so I look forward to our community continuing to dig deeper and be as courageous as children are. And if a child is courageous enough and brave enough to talk about some of the most horrific things you can ever hopefully not be able to imagine, we as adults can be courageous and brave enough to make a phone call on behalf of a child that could save a life.